ashamed, just get on the dance floor and vibe to the rhythm anyhow.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys are now officially tuned in to the Red and White Comedy Night Talkback. My name is Wes Hype. I am the creative director at Juice Comedy, one of the largest producers of Caribbean comedy in North America. And I will be joined today by Calix, a filmmaker, Sedina, the lead actor, Leah Doze, Lou Taylor, and Chayla Hunter. I think I see you guys all on the screen here. Hey, guys.
Hi. Hey.
And this is not our first time meeting. We actually sat down a few weeks ago. I had the pleasure of meeting all of you, except for you, Calix. But I'm going to get to you in a minute. Chayla, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I just got to see your movie. Your film was amazing. But just to give the people at home a chance to connect exactly what film you're associated with, let's run the trailer from yours.
Could I get, please, a Chardonnay with just like 2 cubes of ice? Thank you. Thank you. Tastes like more like a Albarino.
Got ice.
Perfect. And my next guest, Leah. How you doing, Leah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I just got to see all these films, but I need the reminders. We're going to connect and play your film right now. Sorry, your trailer right now.
My manager gets notified every time someone posts, and he texted me and was like, what did you do? And I was like, I'm going to get fired.
We didn't write a
review.
Yeah.
Just don't want to lose my job on apparent bad service and problematic hair.
I'm having anxiety.
Absolutely zero needs to call any cops.
Just quiet down then.
You posted a review while you were still in the restaurant. Feels a little passive aggressive.
That was the trailer from Tips. Where my man Lou at? Lou, what's up? Woo! How you feeling tonight, Lou?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
That's good. That's good. I got to see the work of you and your daughter for Spawn and Geezer. Let's run the film for that.
And now we have whatever this confused mess is. I'm gay, I'm depressed, I dropped out of high school.
I am a curmudgeonly asshole with a shit ton of issues, which I'm going to share.
And then Dad was like, hey, old Tara, do you want to do a show? And I was like, let's do a show.
Welcome to the birth of Spawn and Geezer.
Then we got Miss Super Z herself. Sedina, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Amazing, amazing. For the audience at home, run the trailer for Super Z, please.
Do you ever just feel like all your potential is going to waste? This so is not my dream job. No, white women aren't diverse. Hello, white privilege.
My dad owns this company, which means I own this company, which means I own you.
Watch out, Bradster. Super Z is on her way. Apologize.
Oh man, I was scared of the kick from a few weeks ago. I'm still scared of the kick now. But over to my boy Calix. Calix, this is the first time we're sitting down. How you feeling tonight, brother?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I got to check out the movie Zine earlier. Amazing. Let's remind the audience at home which film that was.
It's one word. That's what it is. Diversity. 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 It's artisanal tea, by the way. So, our film, Brothers in Babylon, is a neo-realist drama about two brothers, one black and one white, who are ripped apart by the tides of modern life. My family is from Jamaica. You're basically taking on the spirit of the entire islands with this performance, right?
He doesn't know what's right from wrong in the culture. Listen, man, he's using this.
Round of applause for all of you guys tonight. 5 amazing films. I sat down here. I was entertained right from the beginning, right to the end. I actually got the link a little bit earlier, and I had the opportunity to watch the films earlier, and then still sat down at 7 o'clock and locked in right again because they were that good. Calix, because we haven't spoken before, and by the way, audience at home, we're opening up the questions right now. So you have any questions at all, just bring them on in, and we'll be sure to ask them. What was the most interesting thing about making that film, Zine?
Zine. Honestly, I think it's a lot of the most interesting thing for me was what you see on the camera, which was the amazing cast that we had collaborating with us and the discoveries we sort of found in the improvising process, because a lot of the film was improvised completely. So just making those discoveries while we're kind of in the moment, making the scenes was probably the best part for me.
Yeah, you had a pretty diverse mix of people involved there.
Yeah. No, it's great. We wanted everyone to kind of play the backgrounds of what they were, I guess, like what their actual backgrounds of the actors. So,
are you actually Jamaican?
Character. Yeah, well, so my grandmother and my father were both born in Jamaica. And so we do have that family history, and I was raised with a lot of Jamaican culture. So yeah, I do consider myself first generation, I guess.
Okay. Like most of us do, whose parents are born home, we definitely consider ourselves just as much a part of that island as they do. Actually, the first audience question is for you also. Did you go to Queen's University from Michelle Ryan?
No, I went to Ryerson University for film.
Okay.
I didn't go to Queen's.
Okay, maybe you have a twin there.
Yeah, a doppelganger.
Yeah, right. Have a comment from Nicole. She just wanted to give love to everybody on the panel tonight. She said that she loves all your movies, to be honest. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you.
Keep the questions coming on in. I'm gonna go to Chayla next. Chayla, what was it like being involved on so many different aspects of your film?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't write the film, just to clarify that, in case that was not clear. But definitely we had a really small crew, really tight crew, although a huge cast who I want to give so much love to. So many people that Carly and Khadija, who are the two producers and writers of Pigs, so many people that they and I have known for so many years in the theater community in Toronto, came out just on an ask to be in this like very intense 2-day shoot, and they gave so much, and so many of those actors are so busy and so talented. So I just want to give them so much love. But yeah, I would say, like, in terms of being involved in many aspects of the film, like, I really value a collaborative approach. I come from a theater background and I did a lot of new work development. And so I'm as happy to, like, I don't know, pick up a bunch of electrical cords and talk to someone about lighting as I am to, like, speak to an actor. And I'm really interested in everyone's input as a director. I find, like, the kind of typical hierarchical nature of many, normal, I'm going to call them normal, but like normal sets. Yeah, I'm not as interested in that because I like collaborating with people, and, even if I have a vision, I'm always interested in how other people relate to that vision. So that, in a way, really influenced the set, and I'd love to keep trying to work like that more.
Dope, dope. And a lot of time on projects like these, you do play many different roles. I got Leia. She was the writer, co-producer, and the star of her film. What was it like for you playing all those different roles?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I'm definitely inspired by how many people are doing that right now, on so many levels of the industry, emerging, local, on an international scale. I feel like I've been inspired by especially female artists who have done that. It definitely got to a point where I was really, really lucky because I had an amazing team of collaborators. I felt like my co-producer, Elise Bauman, on set, she was like, I had like a cutoff point as a producer and as an actor. She's like, you are no longer that. Tonight, this was our one night shoot. It was like, you're an actor. And she just, she kind of took over that department, and I needed it because I needed the space as an actor. And then as a writer, like, I mean, the two actors, Mark Matichuk and Kate Schroeder, were just so generous with their time and with their energy. So we workshopped the script so much before we even shot it, and we rehearsed it. So that just freed me up. I felt like I'd made the changes I wanted to make. Those parts of the process were taken care of so that I could go to play as an actor with them on the day. But I mean, I love doing all those things. Like, it fuels you as a producer to be able to create your own material. And it's kind of, I mean, the way I felt on the day was like, oh, I've been in this for so long creating it that it felt like less work in a way. I wasn't like trying to climb up to somebody else's vision of something. I'm like, I'm here. I created this world. It felt very free.
No, totally understand. You did an amazing job as an actor. I was throughout the whole film, I was watching to see, like, I didn't know what kind of reaction I was gonna get next. I didn't know if you were gonna physically attack them. I didn't know if you're gonna turn up on them away. I was waiting for that next reaction. The next comment I have for Said Enough from Freddie. Said Enough. Freddie wants you to know that your film was fantastic, and so was Tips. And so was Spawn and Geezer. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much, Freddie. Also Said Enough from Deborah. What other works have you done? She said, I love Super Z.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind. Such great company with Shorts tonight. Such a great program. Yeah, right now, actually, Super Z is sort of in development. We're hoping to turn it into a web series. So we're working on that. And otherwise, yeah, I'm working on my own web series too called Last Dance. So yeah, just find me on socials and see. It's such a funny question as a performer to be like, what are you doing? Because it's like, oh God, we're Canadian. Does anyone know what we're doing?
They do. They know.
I know, but yeah, for sure. And, you know, just to be clear, I was the performer in that, but that was written by Natalie Younglai, who was the director, writer, one of the producers, and creator. Like, this is all her conception. And she's a Chinese Trini, which is, I always like to say this. Again, we have to remember the diversity of the Caribbean. And yeah, it was a really great production to work on. We had an all-woman crew. We had an all-women production, all women of color, who was all working on Super Z. So
dope. That's
what was supporting me behind the scenes.
Go shout out to them, and an amazing job with the film. So is that supposed to be did you say it was earlier that it was a web series that was a reoccurring episode, or is it just the short film?
Oh, it was like the kind of like the pilot or the
pilot. Yeah.
Sort of a concept for something bigger.
Got you. So we hope to see a lot more from Super Z.
Yeah, me too.
Another web series that a lot of people loved is the Spawn and Geezer. I have a comment from Alan. The relationship between Lou and Lua. I'm going to ask you to pronounce your daughter's name for me.
Altair.
Was refreshing to see. He really enjoyed that film. Thank you so much for your comment. I'm going to ask you, Lou, what's it like to work with your child on set? Lou?
I'm messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Parenting involves a sense of humor if you don't want to kill your kid. And my kid has taught me. The main thing about working with your kid is once you get over yourself, your kid can actually tell you about stuff you need to work on in a way that you'll kind of listen to more than you would actually listen to anyone else. So it's been hard, but it's been an incredible learning process about getting over myself and my ego.
And what's did you just bring your daughter into this project as her first project, or did they have a background in this before?
No, first thing they've ever done. They're non-binary, so we don't do the gender thing.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that was their first. And talk about, I'm always about, nepotism and incest in the film industry. And this is an obvious example of that. It's the first thing my kid has ever done, and they're already an ACTRA member, which is,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the question was.
That the web series, you have multiple episodes available right now?
12 and change. We have 12 and change. We're looking to, the platform we're looking at, we're probably going to launch in February of next year.
Dope.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely be looking out for Spawn and Geezer.
It's nasty.
Leia, I got a question for you from Courtney. Are you a waitress in real life? What inspired you to write such a funny story?
I'm not currently a waitress, but I did fund a lot of this film on my tip money from being a waitress. I have been a waitress often. And I mean, I think like on the surface, that's a pretty obvious metaphor, which I also saw in Pigs, which is, you're serving people and why don't we tell each other the truth when you're in an exchange with somebody, and why did somebody feel that they have to post their opinion online instead of being able to tell the server in person how they actually feel? But I feel like the metaphor of a server, the metaphor of a servant was also very much related to race between the characters in the film, and this was sort of an allegory for some or a satire for some power structures that I'm certainly looking at in my life. Why do we say these things about people online? Why do we have alter egos? Basically, they lie to her. They lie to her face, but they're willing to write something online. And that was something that I wanted to explore.
Definitely.
The feelings we have about people that we won't share, but we'll do it in a sly.
Yeah, that's something that's very common in this era.
Yes.
My next question is for Calyx. Calyx, what is the most important lesson you learned in the process of making your project? And also, do you have any advice that you would give?
Okay, well, probably, honestly, probably the most important lesson I learned is really just to trust my collaborators and and let people into the creative process as much as possible. Because I would say, just even from pre-production all the way to editing, but especially in that process of filming during improvisation, when we were kind of allowing the actors, because again, we allowed them to pretty much just improvise and come up with stuff on the spot. And I would say because we allowed them just the space to do that, we got some amazing results and some amazing, really funny stuff on camera that we wouldn't have gotten had I just written out a script, and so that was the biggest thing for me is I think I'm really going to take the process of improvisation and incorporate that into my more scripted projects in the future, allow them to improvise, allow the actors to contribute some things, or maybe just try a few takes going that way, because it always amazes me how what cool stuff you can get when you allow the actors to improvise and just kind of try something, so yeah. And then I guess the second question, just what advice I would have. I guess kind of in a similar vein, I would say probably the biggest advice, in my opinion, is trust the people you're working with, allow them to feel inspired, and allow them to have a creative stake in the work that you're doing, even if you're the director and producer, which on a lot of my own projects I am, and I was in this one, for example. You know, even though you're kind of the leader of the project, I think allowing the people who you bring on as your kind of department heads or creative keys, allow them to feel inspired, allow them to have a creative stake in the project, and not just feel like they're working for you, but they're working with you, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's definitely good advice. Thank you so much, man. Sedina, what is it like to play a queer Caribbean superhero heartthrob on screen when you are one in real life?
Oh my God. Who wrote that?
It actually does, this one doesn't have a name next to it.
Don't worry, I sent them an e-transfer. I know who it is. Thank you. Good job.
So there's no answer for that one? There's no answer? What's
I
it
don't
like?
know what to say to that. It was like, honestly, Super Z was such a gift of a role. Again, like Natalie knew me and was just like, why doesn't this person work more? And then was also, of course, Natalie is the founder of BIPOC TV and Film and has been an incredibly fierce activist for getting more BIPOC TV and film content and getting more creatives and just basically diversifying the industry and confronting, you know, all of the systems of oppression that have been keeping us back as people of color and who are Black and Indigenous, etc. So yeah, she wrote that with me in mind. And I guess part of her sees me as a superhero. I don't know that I feel like a superhero on a regular basis. I just feel like a girl who should eat less cookies. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. But I feel like with Super Z, it's such a great vehicle. And I hope that we continue, you know what I mean, to work on it, because I think it's a great vehicle to talk about oppression in the workplace and talk about how we can deal with it without needing to don a superhero costume and give people drop kicks, you know? Have good conversations that lead to, you know, learning and true apologies. So that's what I'll say to that. That's really sweet. And I feel really touched by that.
And I think it came up and disappeared. I believe it was from Nikki, that comment. She she addressed it.
Nikki, thanks.
Thank you. Leah, from Vanessa, love tips. What was the collaborative process like with Mercedes?
Yeah, great. So Mercedes is a friend of mine. We met in acting class, so we've known each other for almost 6 years now. And her and I had a conversation in, I think it was February, it would have been February 2018. She was about to have her first baby, or her baby, she only has one, but she was about to have a baby, and we were having these conversations around, like, what do we want our lives to look like 3 years from now? Do we want to look back and, you know, still be talking about doing the things we dreamed of doing? Are we still going to be talking about that script we want to produce? And we made a promise to ourselves that that wouldn't be the case. And I had written this short film, and her and I sat down to do a reading with another friend, and I didn't have a director. So she's like, I'll do it. And because her and I have trained together as actors, and we have a lot of common language, it was honestly a very smooth process of communication. She wanted to go for something, we wanted to keep the comedy as realistic as we could. I know there's comedy's also kind of insane, but we wanted to keep the performances as realistic as we could. And that is something that I feel Mercedes is extremely skilled at, and communicating with people, communicating with actors to be able to get them to play for the real, even though the circumstances are hilarious. So we did a lot of workshopping and rehearsals, and we tried to keep a sense of play and freshness, which is something that she's amazing at.
Definitely, that definitely came across on screen. And from Andrina, she said, I love the choice of distorted camera angle in tips when she's fantasizing about going off on the guests.
Is that all, you mean pigs?
You mean pigs?
Yeah.
They said tips, but they must have meant pigs. She's talking about the fisheye. Yeah. She said tips, but meant pigs. But next, Calix. Calix from Ange. What perspective were you wanting to reflect about the second generation Canadian diaspora, appropriation, or engagement in their ancestral culture?
Yeah, well, I think the idea really, I mean, I think for me, what I'm trying to express, and I think what the whole team was trying to express to some degree or another, is just the idea of really listening, and listening to and respecting cultures and the aspects of a culture that you might not understand, So I would say that that the story is kind of a cautionary tale. It's kind of an example of what not to do through the example of Chad, So don't be like him, and it's kind of saying this because I think a lot of people in the film community have seen people like that who it's when they're trying to tell a story like this, they're telling it in a way that's performative and maybe feels like they're more just trying to do it to get attention or gain certain points or something, instead of in a way that is genuine about appreciating that culture. So I think to me, really a lot of the other characters in the film, characters like the one played by Andon, Andon Campbell, he's the one who plays, he's the brother character in the movie. A character like that, for example, they are, to me, they embody the culture, and they don't need to go around saying it. They just are it, they live that experience, they carry it with them. And to me, that's what, I guess, in my opinion, it's like you don't need to always stand on the rooftop and declare, you just live it and you embody it in your life, and you take it with you, and so that is, I guess, what I feel I'm trying to say with the film is that you don't, just really live it, and you don't always have to say it, I guess, and I think Richard, my co-writer, would really agree with that as well. That's what he would be his opinion as well. Him and I have pretty similar sensibilities about these things. So, yeah.
And Chad did have that self-reflective moment at that one time where he acknowledged a lot of those things, right?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what that moment is that he's at this kind of lowest point, and he has this moment of clarity where he's like, am I, is this all wrong? Are my intentions completely, messed up? But then, of course, he just reverts back to his same patterns, and that's kind of the failure of that character, really, is that he refuses to acknowledge himself, and when he does, he can't stay there. So
not for very long at all.
Yeah.
From Nicole Lou, Nicole says she loves to see the relationship with your kid, and it translates amazingly on screen. For Sedina, I'm not sure who said this, but every office needs a super Z, and I agree.
I'm available.
and for you all, you should all be very, very proud. I thank you so much for sitting down with me today, and I thank you so much for your contribution to the culture. One more time, give it up for everybody on the panel. Thank you guys so much. And we hope to see much more work from you guys really soon. Before we wrap everything up, let's see what's coming up next at CTFF 2020.
Hi, I'm Rhett Butler. I wrote and direct in addition to editing, and also doing the special effects, makeup, produced as well. I should also give special thanks to Alan Tennant. You should really come and see it because it features authentic Jamaican dialogue as well as the Jamaican patois. In addition to that, I will be present at the question and answer segment after the film. The fact that it's my first film, there are so many experiences I have to share and why I made certain decisions. So why you should come on Cinefurious? Simple, because it's a good film.
your boy, Jay Martin. I'm back. And wow, that was such a great talk back, right? I want to thank you all for staying and enjoying all the films. They were great. Weren't they great? Weren't they good films? We hope you enjoyed the Red and White Comedy Night. Now, please continue to enjoy the rest of the festival. It doesn't have to end right here. Tickets are available for screening nights. For tomorrow, we have what? Boom Flick? That's Jamaica night. That's my people's. I got to check that out. So for tickets and passes, check out our website again. That's CaribbeanTalesFestival.com. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me. Make sure you go on Instagram and Facebook at Caribbean Tales. Obviously, that's where you find us. Tell all your friends to join us. And remember, Caribbean Tales is a charity, so we would always love if you donate. Make sure, put the money where it counts. It's your boy, Jay Martin. I'll see you next time. Peace out.